Hi everybody. Streamers. I've had this streamer for 9 months actually now, and I'm going to tell you the effect of having it, how it affects your music appreciation, how good it is compared to an average CD player, and just the whole thing about it, because it's a whole different way of listening and accessing music, and it's got some funny pluses and some funny minuses, to be honest with you. Okay, just so you know, this is the there it is, it's that one, Bluesound Node 2i, which I've been using generally on its own, using its own DAC, yeah, and this here is a fairly nice, fairly bog standard Arcam Alpha CD player, which I kind of like that CD player. It doesn't annoy me, let's say that. It's sort of pretty good across the board, and you know, pretty authentic, vocals are nice. So I've got a few other CD players, some of which just are too unbalanced, if you ask me. And I have heard some really great CD players, which would probably beat, I would say, the very best sound you could get out of here. But I'm talking about Audio Research. Is it, I think, AR8, I think it is. A really expensive CD player with valves in it. Costs thousands, £5,000, something like this. But anyway, I'll get into detail in that and how I've experienced or it's changed my appreciation of music. Okay, first thing to know, I'm using Tidal, yes. I tried Tidal, I tried Qobuz. Minutely, I found Qobuz a little bit more edgy. I mean minutely. God, do I mean minutely. And also, I previously had Spotify, which I believe of launching a higher quality system. But the system that I did have with Spotify, I didn't want to, it wasn't up to par, you know. It really did sound compressed, and I guess it was, but the normal Spotify, even on the high resolution, you know, really the Qobuz, the Tidal is superior, particularly when they're doing these master series. Now they call them masters, it's got an M next to it, and they're claiming that those albums are direct masters from the original tapes, you know. Well, I can tell you those masters, generally speaking, sound really good. Now, if you took a master from, if you're listening to something like Rumours, I think it's a master of Rumours, from the 70s, that's really good. Other stuff in the 70s and 80s, it's not very good, you know, that's not a master. And there I found my CD player would be better. So I listened to, say, the album, it's a Stevie Wonder album with Too High on it. Is it Fulfillness, First Finale? One of those, mid-70s Stevie Wonder. Better on the CD, by far. The thing is, where are they being able to, they're not going to be able to get good copies of whatever, the original master tapes from stuff from the 70s. You know, some of this stuff has just, I guess it's just lost, you know. So they might be taking it off a CD, I'm guessing, you know, or God knows, you know, or whatever they're taking it off, I don't know. But there's a big difference in 70s, 80s stuff, I found. And the more up to date you get, kind of the plain better it gets. Because, you know, they'll be closer to the original recordings, you know, however they're trying to get hold of them. Because they have got to get hold of them somehow, you know. And they're obviously, the older they are, different formats, probably less good. Okay. Let me say a few things about, what I have found is listening to these master things, I found because I'm a hi-fi nut, I only wanted to listen to these master editions, and I land, well, you know, I didn't even consciously do it, but I just land up selecting only those tracks, and then some of the things that were really quite poor, like I'll give you one that's really not very good, All Mod Cons. That's a really old album by The Jam. Sounded great when it came out, and it, you know, on a CD it sounds great. On the streamer, the greatness is gone. It's just not there. So what I'm saying is, with this streamer, I found I'm selecting the really good stuff, and I'm leaving out, you know, just not listening to other music because it's just not as good or up to scratch. You know, it's below par. Really, I would say it's below par compared to an average CD player. I think you pay probably like £150, maybe £100 for something like this now. It's quite nice. It's quite a nice thing. Okay, the other big deal, and this is where it gets more weird, is the interface, yes? And the whole world of not having or not using your collection, CD or vinyl, you know, where you'd go over and you look at it and you sort of see how you feel, and you look at these covers and you go, you know, I fancy that one. And you put it on and you probably let it play when you're playing on a CD. Now, what happens on this machine for me? I mean, I know this is a personal thing, and other people might have different ways of doing it, experience it differently, or have tips to make it work better. But this is what happened to me. I found I was thinking only, or I think only in tracks. I think about specific songs. I don't think about albums. That's what was happening to me. And I found it also, or I find it also, kind of more taxing. And this might sound odd, but it's a serious thing, you know. At the end of the day, if you're really tired and you've had a big day, I want to play some music, much better to just look at a bunch of CDs, or even better, albums, because you kind of relate to them, the picture, the thing. It gives you more of a sort of emotional understanding of that music somehow, because it's bigger and it's got a bigger picture. At the end of the day, I don't want to get my phone out and start going, search, what out of all the songs in the world, more or less, do I want to hear? So you're kind of having to use your own brain work, or, you know, think about all the music in the world, yeah? Whereas if you go to your collection, it's you're being prompted, you know, there it is, you know, do you want this? You know, so if you went into a restaurant and said, here's the menu, and you look at the menu, you go, that's what, I'll have that and that. Or someone just came up and said, you can have any food you want in the world. You might start going, let me think. It's kind of harder. That was my experience, you know. Or I keep talking about it in the past sense. I'm not talking. I bought this and I'm keeping it, but it's you don't you experience it differently, and ultimately in the conclusion I would say is yes, I'm keeping that because it's the certain things sound fantastic, and they really do sound good. You know, they sound like a $2,000 CD player would be my suggestion for how good it sounds. But I seriously don't think this has enriched my musical enjoyment. And I found it, I mean, it really sounds mad, because I actually found I'm listening to a more narrow selection of songs on there than I am with my, I don't know, few hundred, probably 400, something like that, I don't know, CDs and albums. So, you know, this is a strange thing to say, I suppose, in the end, where there you have all the music in the world, mostly good quality, occasionally or early stuff is not. It didn't really do the trick for me. Sometimes I don't want to look at a screen either. I've just had enough of screens. Sometimes I want a different experience that's got nothing to do with a screen. But I think, well, you know, personally speaking, we get a lot of screen time general, and it's kind of nice for that music thing to be a different thing. You know, walk over, have a look. I actually would say for me, it's better that way. So don't go selling all your CDs in a hurry. That's what I would say. Okay, loads of more reviews on my channel. I hope that was useful. Thanks. Bye for now.